How's everybody doing? We're back again with another video. And in this video, I will be giving you a top 5 list of the weirdest things that I've seen in the gun community since I've been a part of the gun community, or since I've owned firearms. What I mean by gun community, I'm just talking firearms owners in general, not even just a specific type, but just anybody. That's what I call the gun community. And I just thought about some weird things that I've seen or whatever, and I decided to give you guys this list and to see if you guys agree or not. And this isn't going to be in any particular order, but here we go. The first thing that I've noticed about people and certain people in the gun community is when they do unnecessary maneuvers, right? So here's an example, right? Mark 17. It's clear. What I mean by the maneuvers, now I'll put a clip of me doing it specifically, but essentially it's when people are doing, like, they say they're shooting, right? They're doing a little drill or whatever, and when they're done, they'll bring the gun to their chest for a few seconds. They'll literally look around. They'll look around, you know, and then they holster. It's like, even if they're the only one out there, even if there's nobody else out there with them, they do it. They're like robots. And I see people do that, and it bugs me. Like, and now I do understand some trainers use that. They train that, right? So if you're somebody who got taught that, I mean, I'll give you a pass, but bro, it's so unnecessary. You don't need to do all that. And don't give me all that bullshit because it's for safety. I'm looking out for my partner and shit. If you're the only one out there, who the fuck are you looking out for? So it's just weird. I always thought that was very odd. That you're sitting there shooting, boom, boom, and you're just so fucking stupid to me. So unnecessary. You do not need to do that. Now, I'm not saying don't keep a look of your surroundings. That's not what I'm saying. But it almost seems like these people aren't even looking. They're just turning their heads. They're just going. They're not even looking for anything. So that's my first one on the list. And you tell me if you guys have came across the same situation, or if you do it yourself. If you do it, let me know why. But I think it's just unnecessary and it's a bit ridiculous, to be honest with you. But that's my number 1. My number 2. Now, this is one that I understand it to a certain extent, but it's also very weird. So what I call it is never waste a rep. So it's when people clear gun. Anytime they have to pull the trigger, right? And I'm not talking about having to use the gun. I'm talking about dry firing, right? They'll, like, let's say if they need to disassemble a Glock, they'll do this. Oh, yeah. Point. And then they disassemble it, right? Or when they need to check the trigger, instead of a normal just, they'll be like, oh, okay. Or like fucking, let's say they wanted to show that it's clear, right? Or whatever. That's how some people do it. I don't do it that way. But they're like, oh, it's clear. Oh. So I guess the idea behind it is you're getting your reps in and shit. When you're presenting and shit. I understand, kind of. But you don't need to do that every time. I mean, why don't you have a set time in your day where you're just practicing reps? You know what I mean? Your draws, or whatever you want to call it, or your presentations, anything like that. But why every time, you know, like if I, can you just disassemble that for me? Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense, bro. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's unnecessary. And, oh, never waste a rep. Bitch, fuck your reps. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out of here with that bullshit. But if you do that, man, tell me in the comments below why. It just seems a bit ridiculous to me. Now, I understand a lot of this is my personal opinion, but you're going to listen to it. So I'm going to give it to you. So, but that's number 2. And yeah, so number 3, this one cracks me the fuck up. And I'm going to put a clip of me doing this shit. And you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's unnecessary unloading maneuvers. Hey guys, I'm here to show you guys how to properly unload a pistol. First things first, take the mag out and put it in the furthest room from the room that you're in currently. I'm going to set this down because I don't have time for that. Second thing, take the slide, lock it back, right? Visually and physically inspect the chamber, then turn around, turn back around, look in. You're going to do it one more time, right? You look in again, then you do it one more time, and then you look in again, and it should be clear. If you're not doing any of that, you're not properly clearing it right. Now, like I said, I'll put a clip up there, or I should have already put it up, but it's essentially when somebody wants to unload a gun or make sure it's clear, right? And they'll lock it back, they'll look in, and they'll even physically check with their finger. They'll be like, turn your head and look again. Turn your head, look again. And when I see people, like I see people on YouTube, like teaching that, I'm like, what does turning your head do? Does it like, are you doing like one of those cartoon shits where you see something and you don't believe it and you're just like, is that what it is? You're like, I don't get it. I mean, if you looking in, you can't see it. Now let's say you got bad eyes. Even with bad eyes, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to see brass inside there. But anyway, let's just say you got very bad eyes. You touch it, you should be good if you don't feel anything. But turning your head somehow makes it to where if you can't see it now and you turn your head and you turn it back and you look inside, it's going to somehow appear. Doesn't make sense. I think those people are borderline safety Nazis. Like, you're going to sit here and tell me to turn my head and look again? Like, that shit is fucking stupid as hell. I haven't seen a lot of people do this, but I've seen a few. And I'm just like, y'all are fucking stupid. Like, and then they're going to try and make it seem like it's about safety when in reality it's not. It's just extra bullshit. That's all it is. They want to make themselves look like they're cool and they know what they're doing and they're so extra safe. It's not extra safe at all. It's fucking retarded. I mean, it's not. It's really what it is. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. If you guys have came across somebody that does that, let me know. I've never came across anybody personally who's done that. But on videos, on YouTube videos, I see people doing it, and it's just like, man, sometimes, bro, people with guns tend to do the most. They tend to do the most when it comes to guns and stuff, and it irritates me. I know I shouldn't let it irritate me, but it just does. So that's my number 3. So yeah, if you guys, like I said, if you guys have came across anybody like that, or if you know why people do that, because has there ever been a case where somebody physically and visually checked, and when they turned their head and went back, somehow a brass appeared in there? Is that a thing? Just let me know if it is, because I don't know. The number 4, I've mentioned this in one of the podcast episodes we did, but I call it Tacticool Lingo. Mainly, there's one word I'm targeting, but there's other ones too, but this is the main one that comes to my head, is when people say, weapon system. And I'm not talking about it, okay, if you use that word sparingly, right? Like, if you don't always use it, because yes, technically this is a weapon system, technically. But if you're literally saying it to the point where, like, I seen a guy, right? He was showing somebody how to shoot or whatever, right? He had his pistol on his hip, and he goes, when you draw your weapon system, I'm just like, why not call it a gun? Why not call it a firearm? Why not call it a pistol? Why not call it, I mean, weapon system is very vague. Like I don't know. If you guys use this word, like I understand it's an actual word and it actually has me like a definition kind of like this. A gun, I guess technically is a weapon system because it is a system and it's a weapon. But what happened to the traditional gun, firearm? I would even take weapon, even though that's still vague. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of weapons, but weapon system, I don't know. I don't know if they teach that shit in like the military. If they do, let me know. I don't know if they do or not. If they do, and that's just how you talk, okay, that's different. I mean, that's not a big deal, but like I just hear it all the time, bro. Like when you buy your weapon system, and I'm just like, why be so vague? It's a fucking gun. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand it at all. I'm not gonna lie. I understand using it every now and then. Like if you're, okay, here's an example. Where I could understand when you're talking, right? And you're like, you're talking to a buddy and you're just saying, yeah, I really enjoy the AR-15 weapon system. I kind of understand it because you're talking about the system itself. I could understand that to an extent. But when you're sitting here, when you're teaching somebody how to shoot and you're saying draw your weapon system, I bet money they're probably like, what the fuck is a weapon system? I thought this was a damn gun. What do I have? What the fuck is a weapon system? That sounds like some crazy ass shit. But anyway, that's my number 4. So it's Tacticool Lingo. Anything like that. I don't have anything else that comes to my mind right now, but weapon system is the main one. We're just like, weapon system. Like, you're supposed to be so tactical. I got my weapon system. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. So that's my number 4. My number 5 is, this one is, I'm going to insert another clip of me doing this to show you, because I can't show you while I'm sitting down. But over leaning. So when somebody leans so far that they're damn near about to fall on their face, when they're like, you can, I'm not saying leaning is bad. Leaning is actually great for recoil management. But when you do it so far, and then you'll see, like, I don't know if y'all seen this. I've seen it on like fucking Facebook where you got the USCCA ad and the motherfucker that's having the gun and he's presenting his gun. He's leaned so far forward, and then you'll see people with their fucking ass sticking out and shit. Listen to me, man. You don't need to lean that far forward. You're not Michael Jackson. Like, seriously, you do not need to do that shit. Leaning is good, but not that to that point. Like, you're leaning so far that your body goes from looking like this to like this. And that's not, that's unnecessary. And think of it this way, the way I think of it this way. When you're shooting, you want to try your best to be in the most comfortable and natural position you can. I understand some leaning can help, and that's fine. But don't go from, because when you're standing up naturally, let's say you're walking with your gun on your hip or whatever, and you have to use your gun. I'm sorry, but you're not gonna have time to go, ooh, like lean all the way. No, you're gonna have time to just draw that shit and shoot. So don't sit here and tell me that leaning is like necessary. It's not necessary. It's stupid to me. It makes you look like an idiot. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a trainer. I don't care if you're a fucking military vet. I don't care, law enforcement. I don't care what the fuck you are. When you lean that far forward, It makes you look stupid as shit. So that's just my opinion, and that's it. If you guys know anybody who shoots like that, I don't. And personally, like in my personal life, I don't know anybody who shoots that way with pistol. And I'm talking with pistol. With rifle, you kind of have to lean a little bit, but it's not to that extent. But I'm talking pistol here. I should have prefaced that in the beginning. But like, it's just fucking hilarious to me. And I think people do it because they think they're so good and they're so, I'm going to lean all the way in and I'm going to make sure my bullet hits you faster than it would if I was, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think it's weird. But I see it a good amount. I'm not going to lie. I see a good amount. I don't know if trainers train that way. I've seen a lot of trainers and none of them train that way, at least that I've seen. They train either more upright, or some a little bit in, but I don't know. I can't say. But if you guys have experience with these people, just let me know. Now, I know I said this is top 5, and it is, but I do have a bonus one. The reason why it's a bonus is because it's not really related to most of the ones I've already mentioned. This is one that surprised me. And if you guys don't know, I've owned firearms for, it'll be 3 years in June, so I'm still a newbie. You know what I mean? I'm still new at this, so I'm still learning. But when I tell you, okay, the bonus is ignorant gun shop employees. Now, that surprised me because you would think these people work at a gun shop that they would know a lot what they're talking about. Now, I'm not saying they should know everything, but I'm saying they should know basic shit, right? So I'll give you some examples. One, there is this gun shop / pawn shop. Now, I know it's a pawn shop, but they sell firearms. That's actually a lot of the majority of shit they sell are firearms. But they're cool people, right? Cool as hell. Cool people. I like going to their shop and chatting it out with them and looking at shit and whatever. But we went there and we were talking about guns, right? And this guy was telling me about a shotgun that he had. And he said it held like 14 shells, 14 rounds, a 12 gauge. And I said, oh, cool. I said, is it a bullpup? He goes, I said, the way I actually asked it was, is it a bullpup or is it conventional? He goes, huh? I said, is it a bullpup or is it a conventional shotgun? He's like, I don't know what that is. I'm like, so you telling me you don't know what conventional means? You're telling me you don't know what bullpup means, and you run a gun shop / pawn shop. Like, those are, in my opinion, those are basic terms that you should understand. Because the reason why I asked that is because we were talking about a box magazine fed shotgun, 12 gauge, right? And I think a lot of box mags for 12 gauges hold like 5 to 10 rounds at most. But I thought maybe he could have had some conventional shit that had a whatever, like a mag that hold that much. But I know typically bullpup shotguns are the ones that hold 14 because they usually have dual tubes in there. So that's why I was asking that question, and he didn't even know what I was talking about. And I'm like, wow. So that's one example. Here's another example. Me and Mark, y'all know him. If you don't, go subscribe to his channel. We went to a gun shop, right? It's actually one of the gun shops I got a good amount of my firearms from. And I know these people. They're cool as shit, no issues. But we go in there, we're talking to the guy behind the counter, right? About gun stuff, right? Mark was asking about the 19X. We're looking at it. And, we were talking about it, and I said, one of the biggest downsides to a 19X is that it can't accept Gen 5 mags without you dremeling down that one piece at the bottom. You guys know what I'm talking about. And he goes, what? What do you mean? Yes, it can. I'm like, no. I'm like, well, you have Gen 5 mags and you have a Glock 19X. Go try it yourself, right? And this guy's been working there for years, right? And he goes, oh, I didn't know. And I'm like, I don't understand how he didn't understand. I don't understand how he didn't know that. That's my whole point. It's not the biggest thing, but it's like you should kind of know that, because that is something that you got to take into consideration. Another example is when I went to a gun shop looking for a Beretta 92 FS, right? And they didn't have it. So I looked around. I seen they had a Taurus TX22, right? Now I've done my research on that gun, and the research that I've done suggests that gun is one of the best 22 LR semi-autos that you can buy. Best for the money, right? And that's just based on all the videos I've watched, all the reviews, all the forums, whatever. Everybody points to it as being one of the best semi-auto 22s you can buy, right? So I'm like, yo, can I hold that? Can I see that? Because I was thinking about possibly buying it for my mom, but it didn't go down. But I was thinking about it, so I'm like, let me see how, before he'd even let me see it, he made the comment, oh, I wouldn't go for Taurus. I wouldn't go for Taurus. I would go for Glock. You should go for the Glock 44. If you guys know, the Glock 44 was a shitty gun at the start. It might be better now, but it was a very shitty gun. The slides would crack. It's just a shitty ass gun, right? So that just goes to show you this guy's knowledge. He is suggesting a inferior gun to this gun. And even if the Glock 44 worked, it's still inferior. You know why? Capacity is worse. It has a polymer slide. Like, it's just trash overall. Compared to the Taurus TX22, I would get that one. And the Glock 44 is more expensive than that gun. So it's not, the fact that he recommended that just shows he's a Glock fanboy. And I love Glocks. You guys know that. But then this last example was actually recent. Today, actually. I like to preface this, all the people that I'm suggesting in these videos, and when I say ignorant, I'm just saying they obviously don't have the knowledge. They don't know. And that's not a problem. You learn, right? All these people that I'm referencing, they're cool as fuck people, okay? For the most part. But the last example I have of ignorant gun shop employees is today I went to a gun shop that I love, right, to buy some ammo. We're getting to talk to the owner, one of the owners. It's a lady. We're talking to her about Glocks and actually all types of guns. They showed us like the Taurus Tacticool or whatever it's called. Different Glocks. They actually had the Glock Model 47 in there, right? So we're talking about that, and I brought up the whole modularity of the Glock 47, if you can call it that. And I'm like, yeah, because they had a Glock 47 out and a Glock 45, Model 45, the 9mm. And I said, yeah, you could put that Glock 47 slide on that Glock 45 frame. And she goes, no, it's too long. It's too long. It's a Glock 17 slide, so it can't fit on a 19 frame or whatever. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, how do you not know that? Do you not? And I said the Glock 47, yes, has the length Glock 17 slide, but it has a Glock 19 recoil spring. That's why it's able to fit on a smaller frame. She didn't know what I was talking about. I just stopped right then and there. I didn't want to argue. I'm like, man, I'm not. The fact that they don't know this is, but it is a brand new gun. So, I mean, but it's something basic. That's the modularity. You can literally put this long slide onto a small frame. That's just how it works. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know, but this is from what I can tell, that's what you can do because of the shorter recoil spring and guide rod. So I don't know. You see a lot of ignorant gun shop employees, and that's why I always suggest people. Now, I'm not saying every gun shop employee is ignorant, right? But I'm saying to new people, before you go to a gun shop and go asking gun shop employees for information and shit and advice, go get somebody that you know that's very knowledgeable in firearms. If you have that privilege to have somebody like that around, because some of these gun shop employees just don't know what they're talking about, and that might sway you one way or the other depending on what you're trying to get. And that's it. You know what I mean? It's, I guess I guess that's it. So thanks for guys watching the video. I know it's a little bit longer than usual, but it's a top 5 and thought I'd bring it to you guys. So if you got any other weird things that you've seen since you guys been in the gun community, let me know. I'm a newbie, so I've only been in it for some years, few years. So my experiences with weird shit is very limited, but that's what I got. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like my content, like the video if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to Centerfire Podcast and all that. And don't forget to subscribe to Mark's channel and everybody like that. You know, we all putting out content for y'all. But that's it. I'll see y'all later. Peace.